The graduation invitation arrived on heavy ivory stock with medical insignia embossed in gold. Dr. Amanda Chen, MD. Residency Completion Ceremony. My sister's triumph. 5 years of surgical residency culminating in celebration. May 18th at noon. The same day as my 4th round of chemotherapy. You'll reschedule, right? Amanda's voice through the phone wasn't asking. This is my residency graduation, Lily. 5 years of work. You can't miss it for a doctor's appointment. I was 24, a graphic designer, and I had stage 3 lymphoma. But Amanda needed me at her ceremony. I can't reschedule chemo. The schedule is. It's just 1 session. What's a week's delay? You've been doing this for months. That familiar dismissal in her tone. Everyone will be there. You can't skip my graduation for hospital time. Hospital time. 6 hours of ABVD chemotherapy. Poison that made me vomit for days, destroyed my immune system, left me barely able to stand. But it was just hospital time. My oncologist said missing even 1 cycle reduces my survival rate. Your oncologist is being overly cautious. Trust me, I'm a doctor now. 1 week won't make a difference. She laughed. You're always so dramatic about medical stuff. She hung up. I touched the port beneath my collarbone. The permanent catheter that marked me as sick enough to need direct access to my bloodstream. Over the next weeks, the pressure mounted. Mom called saying I was selfish. Dad emailed about how important this was for Amanda's career. Daily text from Amanda reminding me that family comes first. My older brother Kevin was the only one who understood. You have cancer. They're acting like you have a cold. It's Amanda's big day. You might die, Lily. That's bigger. He gripped the steering wheel as he drove me to treatment. Don't let them guilt you into skipping chemo. I didn't plan to. But I also hadn't told my family something important. I worked for the state medical licensing board. Before my diagnosis forced medical leave, I was administrative coordinator for the credentialing department. I processed physician license renewals, managed documentation, flagged applications needing review. Amanda's renewal application would eventually cross my desk. What my family didn't know was that I'd already seen concerning notes in Amanda's residency file. A warning from her program director about dismissing patient-reported symptoms and needs improvement in empathy. Red flags I would normally escalate for ethics review. The morning of May 18th, Kevin drove me to City General Hospital's infusion center at 8 a.m. My oncologist, Dr. Rachel Torres, greeted me warmly. How are you feeling? Like my family thinks I'm faking cancer. Her expression sharpened. What? I explained. Amanda's graduation during my chemo. The family pressure. Being called dramatic for having a disease I never asked for. Your sister is a physician? Surgical resident. Graduates today. I touched my port. She says 1 week's delay won't matter. That's medically false and potentially lethal. Dr. Torres pulled up my chart. Your lymphoma is aggressive. We use dose-dense protocols because timing matters. Missing cycles allows resistant cells to proliferate. She says oncologists exaggerate to justify treatment. She's dangerously wrong. Dr. Torres made a note. I'm documenting this. A physician giving medically incorrect advice that compromises treatment is concerning. The infusion began. Adriamycin first, red poison that would turn my urine pink. Then bleomycin, vinblastine, dacarbazine. A cocktail designed to kill cancer slightly faster than it killed me. My phone buzzed constantly. Mom asking where I was. Dad calling me disappointing. Amanda sending angry texts about missing family photos. At 2 p.m. the infusion center door opened. My entire family walked in. Mom, Dad, Amanda in her white coat embroidered with Dr. Chen, and Kevin trailing behind looking miserable. There you are, Amanda said. We need to go. The reception ends at 4. I'm in the middle of chemotherapy. So stop it. Unhook yourself. She examined my 4 with clinical detachment. This is just saline right now anyway. You can finish later. It's chemotherapy drugs. I'm a doctor, Lily. I can read in 4 label. She reached for my line. Everyone's waiting. Dr. Torres appeared, blocking Amanda's hand. Step away from my patient. I'm her sister. And a physician. You're neither in this room. Dr. Torres positioned herself between us. You just attempted to disconnect active chemotherapy. That's assault. Amanda's confidence faltered. I was helping. Help. Dr. Torres's voice cut steel. You scheduled your graduation during your sister's cancer treatment, pressured her to skip it, and physically tried to disconnect her chemotherapy? That's medical interference. Mom stepped forward. Dr. Torres, this is a misunderstanding. I don't care about misunderstandings. I care about my patient. Dr. Torres pulled out her phone showing security footage. This video shows a physician attempting to disconnect a cancer patient's chemotherapy. I'm required to report this. Amanda went pale. Report where? Hospital administration. The medical board. Dr. Torres's expression was granite. You don't graduate residency and immediately demonstrate you'll prioritize convenience over patient welfare. A new voice joined us. A man in his 60s with an administrator's badge. Dr. Michael Harrison, Chief Medical Officer. I saw everything from the hallway. Dr. Chen, you just committed a terminable offense in your last week of residency. Amanda's face drained of color. Dr. Harrison, I didn't mean. Your intent is irrelevant. He looked at me. Miss Chen, are you all right? I'm okay. Good. He turned to Amanda. You attempted to interfere with cancer treatment. That's not a family matter. That's a violation of every principle we've taught you. He pulled out his tablet. I'm also seeing notes about dismissing patient symptoms and poor empathy scores. Is there a pattern? Amanda stammered about dedication to patients. But Dr. Harrison was scrolling through documents, expression darkening. Your residency director flagged patient communication concerns. Multiple complaints about feeling dismissed. One incident where you called post-op pain psychological. He looked up. That patient had a surgical site infection you'd missed. That was one mistake. One of several. He turned to Dr. Torres. Reporting procedure? Hospital administration, patient safety, and state medical board. Dr. Torres met Amanda's eyes. The board reviews all incidents before approving new physician licenses. The room went silent except for my 4-pump beeping. Amanda looked faint. Mom grabbed Dad's arm. Kevin deliberately looked away. The medical board, Amanda repeated. You're reporting me to licensing. We're required to, Dr. Harrison said. Attempting to disconnect chemotherapy is critical. The board must evaluate your judgment before allowing independent practice. Dr. Torres finished my infusion while my family sat in the waiting room under security watch. Kevin drove me home afterward. Amanda, Mom, and Dad left separately. No reception. No celebration. Just shock. 3 days later, my supervisor at the licensing board called. Lily, your sister's license application has been flagged. There's an incident report. I know. I was there. Silence. You were the patient? Yes. I'm so sorry. She paused. You can't review her application given the conflict. But you should know. Attempted interference with chemotherapy, pattern of dismissing symptoms, poor evaluations. The ethics committee will need to review before approval. What does that mean? Could be delayed months for additional training. Could be conditional approval with supervision. In serious cases, denial. The ethics committee met 2 weeks later. They reviewed the incident report, Dr. Torres's documentation, security footage, and Amanda's complete file including flagged patient care concerns. Their decision, conditional license. Amanda would complete additional ethics and communication training. First year under supervision. Permanent note in her file requiring disclosure on all future applications. Not career-ending, but permanently marked. Mom called crying. How could you let them do this? He worked so hard. You've destroyed everything. I didn't do anything. Amanda tried to disconnect my chemotherapy. For a family photo. 1 hour. Mom's voice broke. Now she's marked as a problem physician. No hospital will hire her. Maybe they shouldn't hire someone who thinks cancer treatment is optional for photos. She hung up. Dad emailed calling me vindictive. Amanda sent one text. I hope you're happy. You ruined my life. She'd ruined her own life by trying to remove me from chemotherapy. I'd just been the patient in the chair. 3 months later, between chemo cycles, my supervisor called again. We need you to review physician renewals. including your sister. Her conditional license expires in 6 months. My hands went cold. I can't review Amanda's application. You can review objectively and recuse from final decision. The board specifically wants your professional assessment given the context. Amanda's career literally crossing my desk. The application arrived the following week. Thick documentation, ethics training completion, supervision reports, patient satisfaction scores, peer reviews. I read carefully. Ethics training showed minimal engagement. Supervision reports were mixed, technically competent but occasional empathy lapses, and tendency to dismiss patient concerns. Patient satisfaction below average. Comments about being dismissive. Peer reviews were telling. One supervisor wrote, Dr. Chen is skilled but needs work seeing patients as people rather than cases. Improved since conditional licensure but growth ongoing. At the bottom, have there been any incidents since conditional licensure? Amanda wrote, no incidents. I have completed all requirements. I am ready for full licensure. But attached was a complaint from 2 months earlier. A patient's family reported severe post-op pain Amanda had dismissed as normal recovery. The patient developed complications requiring emergency surgery by another physician. Amanda hadn't disclosed it. I documented everything. The incomplete disclosure. The continued patient dismissal pattern despite training. The lukewarm reports. I didn't mention family, that was already documented. Just objective assessment of readiness for unsupervised practice. My conclusion, application should be flagged for ethics review. Applicant continues dismissing patient symptoms despite training. Recent undisclosed complaint suggests insufficient insight into behaviors that led to initial conditional licensure. I sent the memo to my supervisor and recused myself from further involvement. The board met in December. They reviewed Amanda's application, my memo, the undisclosed complaint, and interviewed her about the omission. Decision arrived Thursday. License renewal denied. Amanda needed another year of supervised practice, comprehensive ethics training, and demonstrated improvement before reapplying. Her career delayed another year because she'd continued dismissing patients. Real patients beyond her sister. Amanda's email came that evening. Subject, are you satisfied now? Body, you destroyed my career because I asked you to come to my graduation. I didn't respond. She hadn't asked me to come. She tried to disconnect my chemotherapy. And she'd continued harming patients. I completed final chemotherapy in January. Scans showed complete remission. The cancer was gone. I was alive. I returned to work in March, still weak but functional. My desk held physician applications to review, including surgical residents. I reviewed each carefully looking for red flags. Dismissive language in reports. Low empathy scores. Patient complaints about not being heard. Patterns suggesting technical competence without compassion. Some applications I approved immediately. Others I flagged, knowing early intervention prevented future harm. Amanda's next application will cross my desk eventually. When it does, I'll review it objectively, looking for evidence she's learned to listen, to take symptoms seriously, to see patients as people. If she's learned, her application will reflect it. She'll get her license. If she hasn't, if she's still dismissing concerns like she dismissed my cancer, her application will reflect that too. I'll document it. The board will decide. My family doesn't speak to me. Mom and Dad blame me for holding grudges. Amanda says I'm abusing my position. But I keep the security footage. Dr. Torres gave me a copy. Amanda in her white coat, reaching for my chemo line, confident her graduation mattered more than my treatment. That footage reminds me why oversight matters. Why boards exist. Why someone must ask hard questions about whether technical skill is enough, or whether patients deserve doctors who care if they live or die. I survived stage 3 lymphoma. My hair is growing back. I'm rebuilding strength. I'm here. And every application I review is an opportunity to ensure the next patient doesn't have to fight their doctor to receive life-saving treatment. Amanda will get her full license when she earns it. When she demonstrates she's learned to listen. When her application shows understanding that patient care requires more than technical skill. Until then, her papers cross my desk. And I review them with the same standards I apply to every physician. Dr. Torres says that's the best use of my training. The medical board agrees. And the patients who'll never know their doctor's license was reviewed by someone who understands what it means to be dismissed, called dramatic, to have your life treated as inconvenient. They deserve that protection. Even if it costs me my family. Especially then. I frame the medical board's denial letter on my office wall, beside my remission certificate. 2 documents that prove the same thing. Survival requires someone willing to say no when it matters. Last week, a new surgical residence application crossed my desk. Excellent technical scores. Glowing recommendations. But buried in patient feedback, didn't seem to believe my pain was real. I flagged it for additional review. The resident will get more training. Some future patient will be believed because I recognize the pattern. Amanda calls that vindictive. Dr. Torres calls it justice. I call it making sure no one else has to choose between family approval and staying alive. That choice should never exist.